The world around us has changed so much in just a few decades. In the past, the television in the living room only had a few simple buttons, and the landline phone was only for calling loved ones. Today, every device has become smart and connected to the internet. This brings countless conveniences, helping us stay in touch more easily, making life more comfortable, yet at the same time opening doors we may not always notice. For many older adults, technology is something both fascinating and a little puzzling. We enjoy the joy of video calls with our grandchildren, or when a small speaker can play a favorite song, but few realize that these very devices may also collect information about us every single day. The purpose of our journey today is not to raise fear or worry, but to look clearly together so that we can keep peace in our own homes. Because only when we understand can we protect. And when we protect our privacy, we also protect our safety and dignity, something every person deserves at any age. In the past, privacy was simple and easy to hold on to. A sturdy wooden door, a locked latch, or a drawn curtain was enough to reassure us that everything inside the home belonged to us alone. When the family gathered around the small television, we trusted that every story, every laugh, and even every worry stayed within those four walls. No one could listen, no one could see, and we did not need to think about being watched. Back then, trust in privacy was as natural as breathing, so natural that no one even questioned it. But today, technology has changed everything. Smart devices are everywhere, from the living room to the kitchen, from our pockets to the desk. They help us in many ways, but at the same time, they make privacy feel more fragile. For many older adults, this shift is not only a technical advance, but also a psychological challenge, because it means accepting that the familiar boundaries of the past are no longer absolute. Yet instead of losing faith, we can choose to understand and adapt. Just as we once learned to lock the door or draw the curtain, today we can learn new ways to preserve our sense of peace. There was a time when the television was nothing more than a simple box in the corner of the living room. You turned it on, changed the channel, and that was all. It asked nothing from you, and you never imagined it could know anything about you. But the televisions we have today are very different. A smart television is not just for watching shows. It is a powerful computer connected directly to the internet. And that connection means it is able to send information back to the company that built it. At first, it may seem harmless. What could it possibly know? Yet in truth, most smart TVs track every show you watch, how long you watch, what time of day you watch, and even how often you pause or rewind. Piece by piece, they build a digital picture of your habits and preferences. For older adults, that means the comfort of an evening in front of the screen can quietly turn into a stream of data flowing elsewhere. The concern does not stop there. Many of these televisions come with microphones or cameras built in, used for voice commands or video calls. The trouble is, they do not always switch off when you think they do. In some cases, they have recorded snippets of voices or stored images without the owner's knowledge. Imagine sitting in your living room, talking to your grandchildren, or discussing health concerns, while a silent device in the corner is listening. Companies say this information is used to improve services, but it can also be sold or shared with advertisers. The television that once brought families together has quietly become a window into your private world. And that is why it is so important to learn how to adjust its settings to keep the living room a place for family rather than a place for strangers. The smartphone has become more than a device. It is a companion that many older adults now rely on every day. It connects us with children and grandchildren. It shows us the way when we travel. It reminds us to take our medicine. It even entertains us with games and music. But what often goes unnoticed is that every app we download is like opening a new door into our private lives. Some of the most common culprits are free apps. A simple weather app might seem harmless, yet it may ask to track your location not once, but all the time. A flashlight app may ask for access to your contacts, your photos, or even your microphone. And the question we must ask is simple: does a flashlight really need to know who you call or where you are standing? Of course not. Yet many apps demand exactly that. And most people accept without thinking because the message appears small on the screen and the button to continue is so easy to tap. This is why you sometimes mention a new pair of shoes or a vacation idea, and soon after ads appear everywhere for the very same thing. It is not coincidence. It is the quiet trade of your personal information for targeted marketing. The risk becomes greater when apps with weak security leak your data to hackers who may use your age, address, or habits to attempt scams or even identity theft. The phone was meant to serve you, but in truth it is often the other way around. You end up serving the apps, handing over details bit by bit. For older adults, this can feel overwhelming, but there is hope. By downloading only what you truly need, by checking the permissions each app asks for, and by removing those you do not use, you can take back control. The smartphone can remain your friend, but only when you learn to keep its other side in check. Step outside the home and the quiet reality of surveillance follows you. Streets, shops, banks, even sidewalks are filled with cameras. At first, this may seem reassuring. After all, cameras can deter crime and solve accidents, but the modern camera does more than record blurry images. Many now include facial recognition, able to identify who you are, link your face to databases, and trace your movements from one place to another. This means that ordinary routines can become part of a record. Going to church, visiting the pharmacy, meeting a friend for coffee, even walking your dog, all may be captured and stored. In some places, this information is tied to marketing platforms, so a visit to the store may trigger an ad before you even return home. And the troubling part is that most of us do not know where this footage goes, who owns it, or how long it will be kept. For older adults, the thought that independence is slowly being replaced by constant observation can feel unsettling. The very act of living a normal day becomes something that might be catalogued, reviewed, and shared. Cameras are meant to bring safety, but they also carry a price, and that price is often paid with our sense of privacy. The important thing is awareness. By recognizing that these cameras exist, by remembering that they are not only tools of protection, but also tools of observation, we can move through the world with open eyes. The street is no longer as private as it once felt. But by knowing this, we can learn to carry ourselves with care, confident that our dignity remains in our own keeping. In many homes today, a small speaker sits quietly on the counter or the shelf. It answers questions, plays favorite songs, sets reminders, even calls a loved one with a simple request. For many older adults, these devices feel like companions, always ready to help. But what is less known is that they are always listening. The companies behind them promise that they only wake when you say their name. Yet studies have shown that they often mishear and record without intention. Some of these recordings are stored in vast databases. In certain cases, employees at the companies have listened to short clips to improve the technology. That means a private conversation about health, finances, or family could be overheard by strangers you will never meet. Even if that risk seems small, the thought that your own kitchen or bedroom is not fully private can be deeply unsettling. The situation goes further. These assistants often connect to other smart devices like thermostats, doorbells, or lights, creating what experts call a data ecosystem. From this, a company can learn when you wake, when you leave the house, how long you spend in the kitchen, even how often you ask for music. It paints a picture of daily life more complete than you might wish to share. For older adults, the answer is not to fear these devices, but to use them with awareness. Check the settings, turn off the microphone when it is not needed, and remember that convenience should not come at the cost of peace of mind. The friend that never stops listening can be useful, but it must also be taught when to be silent. One of the most trusted spaces for many people is the search bar on a computer or tablet. Typing a question feels private, almost like whispering to yourself. Yet in reality, online searches are among the most heavily monitored actions we take. Each search is recorded, tied to your device, your internet address, and often even to your name. Over time, this builds a profile of who you are. If you look up vitamins for seniors, information about arthritis, or cheap flights to visit family, it all becomes part of a record. And it does not stop at what you type. The search engine notes how long you pause before clicking, which links you choose, how far you scroll, and whether you return quickly. These small details reveal mood, uncertainty, or even health concern. For older adults, this can carry serious consequences. Search for memory loss, and soon you may see ads for unproven supplements. Search for retirement advice, and you may be targeted with risky financial offers. In some cases, this data is sold to third parties, including scammers who know that seniors can be vulnerable to persuasive promises. The questions you thought were private may in fact be stored forever, copied and shared without your knowledge. This is why so many people feel surprised when an ad appears that seems to know exactly what they were thinking. It is not coincidence. It is the result of data collection. And while some search engines now offer stronger privacy, the truth is that most still profit from turning your habits into information for sale. The good news is that you can take steps. Use browsers that respect privacy, clear your history regularly, and remember that the search bar is not a secret journal. It is a window others may look through. By treating it with care, you can keep more of your thoughts and questions where they belong, with you. When privacy begins to shrink, it does not only affect information, it touches how we feel about ourselves. For many older adults, the sense of safety has always been tied to the home, to the idea that what happens inside four walls belongs to the family alone. But when devices listen, when cameras watch, and when searches are recorded, that sense of safety can feel fragile. It may bring unease, even when nothing has gone wrong. There is also the social side. Knowing that conversations or actions could be observed may cause people to hold back, to speak less freely, or to trust less. Independence, already a sensitive subject with age, may seem harder to hold when the world feels like it is quietly recording each step. These feelings matter because they can shape how confident someone feels in daily life. Privacy is not only about data, it is about dignity. And when dignity feels threatened, life feels smaller. Yet, even in this, there is hope. By recognizing what is happening, by seeing clearly rather than ignoring, we take the first step to restoring balance. Awareness is the beginning of strength. The good news is that protecting privacy does not require advanced skills or complex tools. It begins with small, simple choices. On a smart television, check the settings and turn off voice or camera features if you do not need them. On a smartphone, remove apps you never use, and when downloading a new one, read carefully what it asks to access. If it wants more than it should, do not allow it. At home, smart speakers can be muted when not in use, and cameras on computers or tablets can be covered with a small sticker. When searching online, consider browsers and search engines that value privacy and clear history regularly. None of these steps take long, but together they create a shield. Most of all, talk with family members. Ask them to help check devices, to explain settings, to make sure updates are applied. Privacy is not about living in fear, it is about living with confidence. Each step you take is a reminder that your life belongs to you, your voice belongs to you, and your trust remains in your hands. Peace of mind grows from these small habits. Privacy is more than a setting on a device. It is a part of who we are. It protects our stories, our choices, and our dignity. For older adults, it is a reminder that life belongs to us, not to the companies that collect data or the systems that watch. The world has changed quickly, and sometimes it feels as if technology has moved faster than trust. But that does not mean we are powerless. Each of us has the ability to take back control in small and meaningful ways. Think of it as drawing the curtains at night. It is a simple action, but it makes the home feel safe again. In the same way, checking a setting, muting a microphone, or choosing a safer way to search is like pulling the curtain closed on the digital world. It restores a sense of calm, a sense that you are still the one who decides what is private and what is not. We cannot stop every camera on the street or silence every ad online, but we can protect our own space. And when we do, we send a message, not just to companies, but to ourselves, that our lives are worth guarding. So let this be the invitation. Take one small step today. Ask a family member to help review your phone. Look at the settings on your television. Try a new browser that values your searches. Each action builds a wall of confidence, and each wall gives back a piece of freedom. Your privacy is not gone, it is waiting to be claimed. And the best time to begin is now. If this message spoke to you, share it with a friend who may need the same reminder. and subscribe so we can continue walking this path together, one step closer to peace of mind.